And underneath all of the sadness, surrounded by crying and weeping and kind words, I had to admit to myself that a part of me was actually glad that they were dead. What it do, love bugs? We are walking through the word grief this week. And I know that it is challenging. It has been challenging me. And this might be controversial, but we are talking about the R in grief. G was for gone. That moment when you realize you're never going to see or hear from that person again. But the R is the controversial part. The R is about relief. Now, just because you lose someone, just because you've lost memories, you might be sad. You might truly be grieving and mourning for that person. You have to be honest with yourself. Sometimes it is a moment of relief. It is a moment of relief. And so a couple of years ago, my grandmother died shortly after I turned 50 years old. And it wasn't expected. She was 90, but she was in her right mind. She still lived at home, all of the things. And then I got the phone call as I was leaving work that she had passed away, that she was gone. So we did all the things. I went to the memorial service, and all of her friends are saying all of these things. And underneath it, there was this current of something, and I had to examine it. I had to be honest, and I was like, well, Ladybug, what are you feeling? And what I was feeling was relief. I was feeling relief from a lifetime of wanting a relationship she never wanted, chasing a closeness and an intimacy that she never wanted with me for whatever reasons. I don't know her story because she was tight-lipped about it. She didn't share it. But given her age and the generation she grew up in, I understand it. People didn't run around in their feelings. But all I knew is that I was a little girl, the only granddaughter, and I wanted something from her that I was never going to get, something that I never got. And I pursued it to a type of spiritual and emotional exhaustion. And when she went in the ground, a part of me was relieved because I knew I was never going to have to chase that thing again. I was never going to have to wonder what hurtful things she was going to say to make me feel like a 5-year-old again and make me have to sit in my car and cry as I drove back home. I was relieved. And sometimes I still miss her and I cry about it, but I'm still relieved that I no longer have to deal with something that was damaging. R in grief. Relief. Sometimes you have to admit that despite everything else, you're relieved that the person is gone. And you are loved, wanted, and needed, or you would not be here. Ladybug out. And I love you.